Alright, let's chat and play some Counter-Strike. Now, you may notice that I have a new mic, which is hugely exciting for me. And if you're interested, it is a Samsung Meteor mic, which plugs in through USB, which makes it super easy for me to record these videos. Now, today I wanted to share with you some tips on how you can improve at Counter-Strike. Now, I'll run through some key components which build up the basis for what makes a good or bad player. And I'll start with this. Counter-Strike is a percentages game. You should never find yourself at a disadvantage. You should always be hoping to engage an enemy player when the advantage is on your side. If you get caught when you're engaging someone and it is even, if it's 50-50, then you are relying too heavily on your aim alone, which is only a tiny fraction of the game. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, how do you improve your percentages? How do you make sure that when you're engaging someone, it is, 60% in favor of you or 70% in your favor, etc., etc.? Well, one of the most important aspects of Counter-Strike is to actually talk to your team and communicate with them. What this does is it actually opens up the map for you. So if you're playing by yourself without talking, you're only really seeing and have knowledge of a very thin slither of that map, the exact position that you're watching, and maybe some noise around that area. But when you talk to your team and your team talks to you, you start to gain some sense of where the enemy players are and how they're playing, and you can make great decisions based on that information. Now, this brings me to my second point. Decision making. Believe it or not, decision making is a huge aspect of Counter-Strike, and if you watch through your old demos to see why you're dying or where you went wrong, it often boils down to one single bad decision that has been made. And these decisions are things like when to rotate, or when to smoke or flash, or when to shift position, or when to maybe change your angle. And all of these put you at either an advantage or a disadvantage depending on the timing of that decision and how informed you were when you made it. Now, my third point today is game sense in general, which is learning spray patterns, learning timings on how long smoke grenades last for, etc. And just general kind of statistics about the game, how much damage weapons do, what is the best weapon to buy second round, etc., etc. And there are tons of resources out there where you can gather this information. So spend a little time studying and it will pay off, believe me. My fourth point is map awareness. So just learning the actual structure of the maps, where the choke points are, how long it takes people to run from point A to point B, who gets to the choke points first. Knowing how long it takes to run from point A to point B, wherever that is hugely important when you consider that 10 or 15 seconds ago you knew a person was at this point, and now where could they possibly be? Have they changed position, and could they be coming from behind or a different angle than you're used to? Now, movement and aim are also hugely important, but they are not the only aspects of the game. This is why I'm talking to them last. Now, aim is just general recoil and spray patterns, but also crosshair placement. So just making sure that where your crosshair is placed when you're moving around the map is making sure that it is most effective. And what I mean by most effective is that it is placed where it is most helpful to you if an enemy were to appear. So when you're peeking a corner, it's no point having your crosshair facing a wall. And that basically sums up the 5 aspects of Counter-Strike. You have communication, decision making, game sense, map awareness, and movement and aim. I've lumped movement and aim into a single point. Alright, thanks for listening, guys. I hope you learned something. If you want to learn more, I would highly suggest you check out War Owl on YouTube. Just search for War Owl and you'll find him. He is a huge source of knowledge for anyone at any skill level wanting to improve their game. So thanks for listening. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this content, then hit that subscribe button. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time.